What is up, internet world, and welcome back to Accelerate. I'm Mike, and this is the all-new Porsche Macan, and I am in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm heading to Toronto to pick up the brand new Turbo. Let's go. Yeah. Well, I am back. I am back in Canada, and in front of me is the brand new Porsche Macan Turbo. Look at this thing. This makes 630 horsepower and 833 pound-feet of torque. And this has the cool new Turbonite emblem. How sick is this? Look at this color, guys. This color is money. All right, so 833 pound-feet of torque, 630 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, massive red calipers. Anyways, I'll get to all this stuff when I get back home. I have about a 300-kilometer drive home, which is about, I'd say, 200 miles or so. So let's take a look at this frozen blue metallic Porsche Macan Turbo. Look at this thing. So on the front here, you will notice that you have these DRLs for them a lot higher than the last model. And that flows well with this bolstered hood. Now this hood is a power dome hood, super aggressive. I love how it raises these headlights out and it blends in with the hood. Now you have this brand new Turbonite badge right there. No more color, all gray, and it's a history there. And we'll get to that in a minute. Now lower here, you will see there's no front grille. It's completely closed off, and that is because the new Turbo is 100% electric. I know, crazy. Down from there, you'll see these are where the actual headlights are. These high beams and low beams are hidden, and that's why we have the split headlight design. Down from there, of course, you do have your front Parktronics, 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty standard on German product, nothing new here. And underneath that, you have your active front grills. Now these are open. I have no clue why, because it is freezing out here, and it's supposed to cool the battery, and I don't know how much cooler the battery needs to get, but it is what it is. Now, standing from that position, you will see how wide these front fenders are. Really, really wide, and that opens up the look of the new Porsche Macan Turbo. Makes the stance nice and aggressive because, of course, you have this front lower bumper that is nice and wide, and you can see how it flares out to give this thing a sporty look. Back seat of the Macan Turbo. Now, I will say these doors are not your physical doors. They're electric doors. So when I open the doors, I simply touch it, it opens up. Same when I want to get out. Let's dust my feet and jump on in here. Nice and thumpy, just the way I like it. These seats are very firm. They're really designed for 1 and 2. I wouldn't really say they're perfect for 3 across. I would say 2 is very comfortable. They are bolstered for 2 specific people. Now, nice and real thick door panels. This does have carbon across the top. On the bottom here, I do have a little bit of ambient lighting, a nice space for my elbow here, a nice firm grip on the left. And of course, if I'm putting my hands up here, I do have a handle to match this beautiful Alcantara in the ceiling. These seats are very, very performance-based in front of me. Now, I will say about electric cars, kind of annoying, I can't keep anything on. As soon as I open a door, everything just simply shuts off. So I'd like to demonstrate these HVAC controls down here, but I simply cannot. It does have 2 vents, though, that I can physically move up and down. I don't have to use any sort of electric gadgets to do that. I do have, of course, on the bottom here, if I can look correctly, I do have 2 USB-Cs, a fairly flat little bump, you know, the bump for the axle that goes across. Well, because these are electric motors that power this thing. And if you're wanting to know, can you put skis through? You absolutely can. You put this down, you have 2 cup holders, and there's a little handle here that I pull down, and my skis can go right through. On this side, if I do want to show you what 60/40 looks like, I simply pull this back. I do have the 60, and then on my side where I'm sitting, I have the 40. And as far as headroom, I'm 5'9", and I have about, I'd say probably 4 or 5 inches. That means I can put somebody that's 6'2", 6'3" at max in the back of this Porsche Macan Turbo, because people have said you lose a little bit of headroom when comparing to its competitors, and that's because of this design. This design is a bit more sloped roofline, a little more aggressive. That's why they have to sort of cut some room in here, but for something like me, it's perfect. And if you're wondering, yep, these glasses are tinted. Now moving along the side, this Porsche Macan Turbo has 22-inch wheels. I like the fact that they are painted black with a colored center cap. This is a turbo, so of course you have the red brake calipers, and this does have this piano black widened fender flares. They're nice and tiny, and they wrap all the way to the back. Here you do have your electric badge there. This one does have a 360 camera, and the silhouette of this Macan Turbo is nice and slopey. It does have an electric thing there, so you can plug your charging in on this side as well as that side. AC, DC on one side and DC on the other. Now going around the corner here, if you flip to the back, you will see that you do have an active rear spoiler. You do have this end-to-end Porsche new design, which is all red. Now when you back up, you will see that it makes the vehicle look a lot wider. This is a turbo. This does have no exhaust because it is electric. And if you're wondering how I got in this tight parking spot, it is because I have rear axle steering. Now if you want to get inside the trunk, it's done this way. There's a little button right there. I hit it and it opens up. Inside you have a few little toys. One is you've got these two buttons. That is to drop your suspension. In case you're loading something in the vehicle, it'll completely drop down, easy to actually load into the car. Underneath here, you don't have a lot of storage. Now lift this up, that's where the Bose sound system is. A little bit of storage there, but not a whole lot. On this side, I do have a 110 plug, which is really cool to have. I've never seen that before on any German product, especially a Macan Q5 or anything like the sort. So it's nice. Let's go in the back seat and check it out. Now jumping inside the front of the Macan Turbo, clap the feet, jump inside, another frameless windows, love it. Nice thick ledge here on the driver door panel. I like how the steering wheel came down for me. It is provided by all this technology here. And I have a 12.6, a 10.9, and a passenger 10.9. And I love this LED that goes all the way down on this, looks to be like leather wrapped upper dash. Of course, this does have the sport chrono because of the clock, and this augmented reality front heads-up display that I will show you guys in a minute, but I want to finish this up. You do have exactly what I expect out of Porsche, nice and clean. This one does have a frunk, of course, because it's electric, and on the back I do have a way to open up the tailgate and then close the tailgate simply by pressing this button down. A good amount of storage here for a big water bottle. I do have the power button on the left-hand side here. There's no key for it, it's just simply a power button. Up here you do have your speakers all the way around. This has a ton of speakers, but besides that, you want to hear the engine, and the only way to do that is to turn it into Sport Plus. Yep, when I'm in Sport Plus, you hear the roar through the speakers. Now, you can see when I do that, you see over here I do have normal, Sport, and Sport Plus, and I have this little button here. That is for the sound inside the cabin. And then this button here is to open or retract the spoiler. So I can retract the spoiler now, and I can have the spoiler go up. That sort of activates based on the speed you're driving. Now, underneath these super clean vents, when I slide this panel back, I do have a wireless charger that's charging my phone. And then I have this little piece over here, and that is designed, this little hole, to slide up a cord from the bottom, because on the bottom here, underneath here, there is two USB-Cs. So you plug in your USB-C cord up through this little slot here, and you can plug something in in case you wanted to plug it in. I guess it kind of makes sense, but it's just a huge, unusual design for Porsche. I've never really seen something like that before. Here's where I have my 4-zone climate control. Everything's on now, so the backs do have the 4-zone climate control, including heated seats front and back. Now the fronts do have ventilated seats, and you see that because you see the perforations in the seat. Now the seat is different ways. These are Sport Plus seats, and they have the Porsche logo that is lit up, similar to some other performance vehicles we've seen before. But I still like the fact they do have handlebars here to hold in case you're gonna die, just like they first started in the Cayenne. It was like, hold on for dear life. The passenger, that is. What about more storage? How about this? Can I store more, and can you slide backwards and forwards? Well, in here I do have a phone case, I do have my 2 gloves that are not really working, and then I have a little case here for the DJIs that I'm wearing. And that's about it. Not much more than that. Not a huge amount of space, but enough to sort of hold a few things when you're prodding away on your little journey. Speaking of journey, let's drive. I am in the 2025 Porsche Macan Turbo EV. Yep, you heard me right. No longer will Porsche make gas-powered motors in their turbos. For the Macan, it is now all electric, and it makes 630 horsepower and 833 pound-feet of torque. It has not made it to anything except for electric motors, and winter tires on a gravel road with snow all over it. It's supposed to do 60 in 2.9 seconds. I've put in Sport Plus. My augmented reality heads-up display is telling me, launch control. Let's go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. 4.22. Oh my God. Oh, guys, if you just see what I'm driving on, this is completely chaotic. It is all ice and snow, and this weapon still wants to go forward. Ugh. This is amazing. Okay, so let me explain to you how battery-operated RC vehicles work. I'm really holding the steering wheel. The fact is that you have a lot of weight on the bottom, which plants the vehicle down. You've got Porsche steering, like, to the T. It's instant, and a bit scary, in Sport Plus. Foot on the brakes. Okay, right through that intersection. Kidding, it's a T intersection. But the joke is that this thing hooks forward, but even with these massive brakes, there's not enough grip to brake, but there's so much grip to haul me forward. This is such a weapon, man. It is such a weapon. And I know that you can't hear the engine, and I know that there's no, like, ugh with it, but they're getting better. Not just Porsche, a lot of other brands are getting better and understanding that we are humans and we have emotion and we need emotion when we're talking about vehicles, right? What is the point? The last 7 months has changed for us. If you've noticed, this is the first video that I am doing without Ian. Yep, me and Ian have gone our separate ways. Not in a bad way whatsoever. He's gonna be making more cinematic videos and I'm gonna be making more lifestyle, terrible videos to watch, except for personality. At least that's what I hope. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing. And the baby blue. So you're gonna deal with Mike's ADHD, my chaotic editing, and a bit of fun. Just that noise. Listen. The shifting. Oh, this is magic.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Can I just go?
Gas.
Oh, I'm pressing the brake.
No, never the brake. The gas. the other brake.
Sorry, person behind me.
So I'm gonna have collabs on the channel now. We're gonna change things up a bit, like stir it up and get it a bit more, you know, diverse is what I'd like to call it, in terms of what the internets do not like. You see, the internet wants consistency. They want the same thing over and over and over. And we did that for almost 5 years, and it's been amazing. And we got to almost 300,000 subscribers, thanks to you guys. But sometimes life, things change. And now, the change will be more lifestyle, more flying all over the world and trying different vehicles that are probably not even sold in North America. But that doesn't matter, because it's all about the good times. Rips! Okay, just breathe. Now for the real test. What does this Porsche Macan do to 60 on tarmac with winter tires? We're gonna find out. I need a pillow. Anybody got a pillow? I had a travel pillow, but I left it at home. This thing is a weapon, guys. A weapon. Okay. So I have 81% battery life. Come to a dead stop. Foot on the brake, foot on the gas, and go. Oh. 3.14. Oh my God. It's amazing. I gotta get better. Foot on the ground. Oh. 3.08. If I had Summers and I had 100% battery, this puppy is definitely doing 2.9. 100%. I love this thing. It is so sick. And I actually don't mind the outside. I know it's a little bit bubbly and in blue when you first look at it. You're like, this thing is sick. after a while you look at it, you're like, it's a little bit round, like kind of eggshelly a little bit. But I actually do like it. At night, it is sick. It is actually nicer at night, in my opinion, than in the day when you look at it. This blue, especially with like a really bright blue sky, is a lot of blue going on. But all in all, I like it. Okay, driving dynamics. Blind spots. Yep, it's got a really big one back there. That is because of the design of the vehicle. They all do. All these like fast back looking things. Coupe, SUVs. And how do you guys like that? Do you guys like SUV coupes or not? Do you like a traditional look? Do you like the older Macan, which was also kind of like coupe? But this thing is definitely a lot more coupe than the last generation Macan. And the steering, man, the steering, Porsche. So let's talk about this augmented reality. Now, the augmented reality is a cool little nifty trick. When I turn my steering left and right, well, the heads-up display completely moves left and right. It's not still. It doesn't hold its same position. It actually physically moves left and right. And if I'm going left or right, for navigation that is, it'll give me these big arrows telling me to turn left and telling me to turn right. It's completely not left or right, but we've seen it first in the Escalade. That was the first vehicle I ever saw this like augmented reality thing, and now here it is on the Porsche Macan. The other thing it does, it's when I'm sort of touching the lane on the left or right lane, it gives us a red line saying like, hey, you're gonna touch this lane. And also, if there's a car that cuts me off, it gives me this sort of like triangle caution sign, and it follows that caution sign with the car. It's kind of video game-ish and kind of cool, but it's pretty distracting. Unless, of course, you like video games, then hey, it's a big thing. Oh boy, I love bad weather. Bad weather is the best thing to have in a good car. I actually prefer driving a really good car in bad weather and a crap car in good weather. There's no point having a good car in good weather because, well, you're not really taking it to its full use or capacity. But in this specific case, this has all the technology. This hooks like crazy. So a friend of mine asked me the other day, what do you prefer? Do I prefer, totally not Porsche stuff, but do I prefer an electric all-wheel drive in a performance type vehicle, or do I prefer, like, say, the Audi Quattro? For years and years and years in Subaru, they've been talking about how great their all-wheel drive system is. But nothing really competes with an electric all-wheel drive, because electric motors can detect it way faster and cut power off way faster and apply power way faster than any mechanical gearing could ever do so. Those are just facts. You can't change it. There's just no way that a gear can be faster to react with a computer sending information back than an electric motor. So in my specific case, I drive a Tesla Model S Plaid, and that car is very, very good in the winter. And I've seen that exactly the same with the Taycan. I've seen exactly the same with anything of the sort, performance-based electric vehicles. Foot on the ground, like this thing. I will also say this thing has really, really good rear-wheel drive bias experience. That experience is excellent. And when I was launching it in the snow the first time around, it was like, it was like throwing me all over the place. And I have never seen that with a Tesla. It just doesn't exist. It does not let you do this fun stuff. And of course you go into like, go track mode, you change all the features, but it doesn't give you that off the bat. It doesn't like push the limits to the end. Now it's because I'm in Sport Plus. If I go to normal off-road, it probably won't let me do that. But in Sport Plus, the way I feel it right now, it is amazing. It is sick. It just lets the back end come out. Anyways, back to my little convo about the electric all-wheel drive versus the mechanical all-wheel drive. The mechanical all-wheel drive is way more fun in snow. Like if you just want to sit there and do drifts, way more fun. Just you hear the engine, you can sort of just play with the motor there, the gearing, you can have a lot of fun with it. You can't have a lot of fun with an electric all-wheel drive car. It's just not as fun. It just doesn't rank as high. But in terms of safety and in terms of instantaneous power or brake power on each wheel, I find that electric it's just so much tighter and better. That's just the way it is. Can't change it. Those are facts. What am I gonna do? Technology has its pros, you know? Anyways, I got a corner, guys. I'm busy. Foot on the ground. Oh, God. Oh, man. 22s. Like, you put 22s on a vehicle before, it would always weigh the thing down. Oh, hello. Bye-bye. Ooh, baby. Oh, baby. Foot on the ground. This thing is a weapon. Did I tell you guys that I like this Porsche Macan Turbo? That is crazy. Like, this is like a little baby weapon. I love little cars that you can just fling around, toss around, And okay, so let's talk about range and battery here. This has a 95 kilowatt hour battery, and you can charge it from 10 to 80% in 21 minutes. Now, it has a range of about 288 miles, and I will say that no matter what vehicle you buy, in the winter, it just doesn't give you the range. Anybody that tells you it does is a complete liar. And I'm speaking from experience because I've had an electric car now for 3.5 years. So I can tell you that no matter how big the battery is, whatever it tells you on there, just like cut it in half, because that's pretty much what it's going to do, especially if you're an aggressive driver like me. If you just milk, then you'll probably get 70% of what you get in the summertime. That's just the way it goes. You leave your iPhone out, or an example is this actually. I went skiing the other day and I had my Ray-Ban Metas on, and I had 100% of battery power, 100%, and it was negative 21 degrees Celsius on my Metas. I put them on and I went for 3 runs. It was 3 minutes, okay, 3 minutes I had this thing down and the battery died. It had told me 5%. I had 5% battery on the 3rd minute. I'm like, what? I pressed the button 3 times. That's how much power batteries hold. They don't hold a lot of power when it's cold out. So how do you guys expect cars to do the same? I don't know. So I'm driving on the highway now, and I'm doing about 75 miles an hour, and there's trucks all over me and a bit of a snowstorm, and it is relatively quiet. So let's talk about the different Porsche Macan models you can buy in 2025, starting with the regular Porsche Macan. This is a gas motor, and it starts at $62,900. Then you get the T, which I like, you get the S, and then the GTS, which I really like, and then you get the electric version. So the top model of gas is the $89,000 GTS. Then you get the electric ones, and you get 4 of them. You get the regular Macan electric, which has a starting price of $75,300. I don't know if it's worth it or not, but hey, that's what it starts at. Then you got the 4 electric, which makes more sense. The 4S electric, which we'll have to drive to see if that's worth the money. And then this is the turbo. This is the Macan Turbo Electric, and it's a starting price of $105,300. It makes 630 horsepower, like I talked about 45 times. But what about the base one? What is the base one? What does $62,900 get you? It gets you 261 horsepower, and we're going to drive that one day. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy my turbo. I've got 5 hours left in this thing, and I absolutely love it. The seats are excellent. The driving dynamics are amazing for an electric car, but it's not really an electric car. It's a Porsche, so they're trying to set that standard, that benchmark, especially for something that they're going to sell a ton of. Like, the Macan kills it. I know that the X3 and the Q5 were way before the Macan showed up, but the Macan's been very dominating. It's a great looking car. It fits as much as you need it to, for me at least. It's quiet. It holds decent value. I don't know about electrics though. We will find out soon enough. But they're in, man. They're in. Porsche's in. They're saying electric. That's just the way it is. Hopefully they never give up the gas 911, because so far they haven't given up on the gas Macan, which is a thumbs up. But if you had to buy an electric one, I'd be buying a turbo if you could afford it. So that's that. That's it for me, Mike, and myself. There's no more Ian, just me, Mike, and I. So if you guys still want to support this guy, comment below and let me know if you're still down to watch Accelerate. Because 300,000 subscribers doesn't really feel like 300,000 subscribers when we're getting like 40 or 50 or 60,000 views per video, which is, I guess, the world we live in. Subs doesn't mean anything anymore. It's about authenticity, and it's about caring about giving you guys content that you want to watch, and also mixing in things that I like to do. So hopefully that looks good for me and you in the future. Anyways, we'll catch you on the next one.